Morning, everybody. Hey, first thoughts on a Friday. Took advantage of a break in the weather here to come outside and kind of suck in a little nice mild air. See, don't even have my hat on. Love it. Just gave my chickens here, some of them anyhow, a little bit of feed to munch away on, but I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm going for a walk back here to my favorite spot, and even though there's no leaves out, there's no greenery, it's still one of my favorite spots because it's nice and quiet. It's right next to the cow pasture next door. But I come back here, and every now and then there's chickens. They'll make their way back here too and peck through the leaves and stuff like that. But it lets me think about our gospel lesson from the 15th chapter of Luke. Yep, you know what we have this Sunday? We have the longest parable of the Gospels. The longest. You all know what it is. On the count of three, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the prodigal son. You got it. The prodigal son. Yeah, but it's more than the prodigal son. It's a parable of two sons. You did see that at the beginning, right? A man had two sons. So, number one, let's not make this about the prodigal son. Let's make this about the sons. Can't forget that. Just a few random thoughts on this parable, because this is one of those ones where you really have to dig a little deep, and you really don't have to dig deep at all because you're going to find out what's in there. Here's my big old maple tree back behind me, that huge monster. Love it, love it. But think about this parable. The younger son does the unimaginable. He basically says, Dad, just drop Dad, give me my inheritance. He didn't say those words, but that's really what was behind them. When you ask for your inheritance ahead of time, that's basically what you're saying. So that's kind of amazing. Another thing that's amazing about the parable is the father. He could have said, forget it. I'm still alive. You just wait. You wait your turn on how about doing what you're supposed to be doing around here, by the way. But nope, he gave him his portion. Now, being the younger of the two, the property would be divided into 3 parts because the eldest always got a double portion. All right, so however many sons there were, you divided that up. So if there's 15 sons, 15 ways, but you would divide it up 16 ways because the first eldest son would get 2 parts. 2 parts of the 16. He always got more. It would be a little bit less, but so anyhow, here it goes. He takes his portion, and that's craziness, doing that before you're even dead. The story has this younger son doing the unimaginable, but it was the expected, I guess. He just wasted all that money in some pretty nasty ways. Ends up eating, a Jewish boy, eating or feeding the pigs, and he ends up eating with the pigs too, okay? So you have that going on. You have, I like the rehearsed speech that he was ready to give his father and started giving his father when he saw him. A rehearsed speech. Is that coming from the heart? Think about that. Or is this some way just to kind of wiggle back into Dad's good graces? You know, Dad's a softie. I don't know. Who knows? I like the fact that Dad cuts the son off when he's in the midst of this rehearsed speech and says, party time, you're back home. He didn't even want to hear the rest of it. Didn't want to hear. All the son got out was, Father, I've sinned against you, and that's just about it. He didn't get into the part about, just make me one of your servants. No, party time. The fact that the father was sitting there and looking for him all this time. He was there watching for him. Wasn't like, oh, you know what, if he ever shows up, we'll deal with it then. No, he's actively watching for him. The other thing he does that's totally against the grain in everything that is Middle East kind of protocol in that day is, as the elder father, he goes running. No, when there's something that's happening, some important event, the one who's the most important, and in this case it would be the father, he's very dignified. You come running to him. He doesn't go running to you. How about the fact that he does throw a party? Come on, tell me who amongst us that has a prodigal kid is going to do that? Hopefully all of us, but that wouldn't be your first reaction probably. Your first reaction would be, why did you do this to me? Is this for real? Are you coming back? Do you want to make amends? And really, was this a rehearsed speech, and really was he making amends? Or was that just all going to be talk? Now, we did say this is about two sons. You have this party going on. Everybody's rejoicing. The first son had distanced himself from everyone, went off to a faraway land. How about the second son? He now distances himself. Look at the language he uses. This son of yours. This brother of mine. Well, no, he says, this son of yours. The father says that this brother of yours, though. Yeah, this brother of yours. Think about that. Just think about that for a minute. This brother. He has distanced himself from the family at this point. From his dad and from his brother. He wants no part of it. And how about the fact that the story itself kind of leaves you hanging in midair? I mean, yeah, there's a bit of an ending to it. Whoever was dead is now alive, was lost but now is found. But did that older brother ever join in? And what was the relationship of the younger brother to the older brother from that point on, and all that kind of stuff? That wasn't meant to be part of the parable. That's not the point that Jesus is making. The point that Jesus is making goes all the way back to the beginning of the chapter 15. There were scribes and Pharisees grumbling that Jesus was eating with sinners. Sinners are those who are on the outside. They're the bad guys. They're the ones not following the rules, and we're the good guys. You got to stay away from those bad guys, even if they are family. They're reprobates. They're incorrigibles. They're not worthy of our love. I guess Jesus turned that whole thing right on its head, didn't he? Dad running. Dad throwing a lavish party. Dad inviting not only this lost son, but the son who was with him all along, but now was also lost. Lost in his own self-pity, lost in his own anger. His dad reaching out to both of them with love and grace. Where do you and I fit in that story? That's the beauty of it. God's blessings be with you this day.